Hi, this is Thomas from Believe in the Run, and I'm here with Ed, head of run product for On, and we're going to be talking about a couple shoes here. Ed, what are you holding?
I'm holding Cloudsurfer 2.
What's the evolution of this shoe from the first one?
Yeah, we had a really good success with Surfer 1, so really Surfer 2, it was about learning everything that we could elevate on the product to make it better. So, I mean, I can go from bottom to top, let's say.
Let's do it.
Yeah, grip, like really looking at the details, the material and so on to really add a bit of grip. When it comes to the midsole, adding a bit more stability. So it's not just soft and comfortable, but also add a bit of stability.
How did you add stability to the midsole?
Really through geometry. I mean, there is a lot of work that you can do through geometry to really make sure that...
Is that with the Cloud Tech?
It's not necessarily with the Cloud Tech. The Cloud Tech is really helping the transition from landing to the forefoot, and we've been pretty consistent with what it is. It's been fine-tuned with simulation, and it's something that is working pretty well. So we keep that, but then playing around with geometry, you can actually add a lot of small detail that make the shoe even better for running. And then when it comes to the uppers, the step-in experience and the running comfort is super important for that product. So really working the materials, working the amount of foam, working everything that covers your foot to make sure that the shoe hugs you and feels super comfortable.
All right, so we found the shoe to be a really nice shoe for like daily training, just your shoe that you can pile miles on. Yeah. What's the price point on this shoe?
160.
160, and can you give me the drop or the differential?
Yeah, the drop is 9mm. I think the heel is 32 and the forefoot is 23.
And when will this shoe be available?
In February 25.
All right, February 25. Now you're kind of shifting things a little bit. We had the Cloud Eclipse, but now you're kind of building out the family, kind of keeping a line. So the Cloudsurfer line's growing. What do we got next?
Exactly. So we have a lot of products in the range. We're trying to simplify and to build these families. And maybe that's a chance as well to talk a bit about the technology.
Yeah.
And the insight when we build that shoe is running is hard.
It is.
For a lot of people. How do we make it easy?
Okay.
And just talking about that, we were like, actually how technology could work to help that. And that's when this idea of Cloud Tech phase came in, where you really have all the clouds collapsing one by one in a domino effect and really helping the ride of the shoe, combined with the softness to really make running easier. Now, Cloudsurfer is built with the quite traditional cushioning, and we know a lot of people want more cushioning for many reasons, for running longer or for being more protected.
Is that where this guy comes in?
Yeah. This is where we have Cloudsurfer Max.
All right.
So in the past, if you knew Eclipse, this is the evolution of the Eclipse. Still based on the same technology, but here obviously adding more cushioning. And a lot of, again, small detail evolution to make the Eclipse or better and to make it the Surfer Max. So maybe just starting with the bottom, we had a speedboard, like exposed speedboard in the bottom that was annoying some runners because it was like hitting stones.
Okay.
Hitting the stones and making a bit of noise.
It was like a nylon plate almost.
Exactly.
On the bottom.
And its goal was to really add stability. Max cushioning, you want to add more stability. We decided to remove it from here and actually to just remove it completely, because when you talk about comfort and softness, the speedboard is not necessarily helping. I mentioned stability on the previous one. Through geometry, you can do a lot. So here, this is also the same insight that we use to make that shoe more stable. And actually, through testing, the Surfer Max is more stable than the Eclipse.
Wow.
So another way we make...
Is the Helion foam the same in both Cloudsurfers?
It's a bit different because if you have such a soft foam here,
it would be too unstable?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
So it's actually softer than the Eclipse.
Okay.
And you will notice that the shoe feels softer than the Eclipse, but it's slightly firmer than we have in Surfer.
All right.
What we did is we call it a cradle construction. So your foot sits inside the midsole and not on top of it. Okay. And that's a big evolution from the
Eclipse. Almost like sidewalls on the...
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's also how it feels more stable. It's also how it feels more cozy because you really sit inside
Tucked
the shoe.
in there.
Yeah. And then again, the same work as I mentioned on the Surfer, really working on the materials, the haptics, the amount of foam, the tone and so on, to really feel very cozy in the shoe and to feel extremely comfortable.
All right, your design is always nice. This upper looks really good up close. I don't know if it's being captured on camera as nice as it looks in person. You're coming down, this would be your max cushion shoe for the Cloudsurfer line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you've got a gusseted tongue. Can you give me the stack height on the shoe?
Yeah, so we've got 37mm in the heel, 31mm for forefoot, so 6mm drop. It's actually, if you want a real max cushioning from On, this is the shoe.
This is the one?
That's the only real max cushion shoe at On.
All right. And then what's the price point on this?
180.
180, oh, that's right in there with the super shoes. And when can we get this shoe?
On July 17th, 2025.
Awesome. So I hear that you have one more special shoe for me to take a look at today.
Yeah.
It looks kind of exciting. If you like the Cloudboom series, what do we got here?
It's called Cloudboom Max.
All right.
It was born with an insight 3 years ago. We went to Berlin Marathon with the team. Really, like, we do a lot of observations. That's how we connect to consumers, and that's how we can capture like potential future opportunities. And we continue to watch people like 4 hours, 5 hours. Noticed, I mean, which is pretty obvious, a lot of people still run in super shoes.
Yeah.
But then did slow motion videos, also realizing how bad these shoes were working with this consumer.
They were hurting them.
Exactly.
All right.
So we came back with the insight: people want super shoe, but it doesn't work for them.
Okay.
How do you
give
tune
them the
super
shoe
shoes
that's
to
the
make
best
it work
shoe
for them? So we got a whole lab. We bring in athletes and we do a lot of testing and so on. We actually brought 4 to 5 hours marathoner
So
in
like
the lab.
pinnacle athletes
Exactly.
on the other side.
And treated them like athletes.
All right.
And started to realize, initially it was based on the Cloudboom Echo 3, what works, what doesn't work. And the foam works. The foam this foam is not only make you running fast, it's also, athletes tell us that they recover faster. So when you run longer, this type of foam like P-Bax, or we call it Helium Shape, is working really well.
Is this a PIBA-based foam?
Exactly. It's the same exact ingredients as you would have in the Cloudboom Strike,
Okay.
but just tuned for the everyday runner.
All right. Is that just the geometry? So like how you're rolling?
Yeah, so
through
it's,
the
I mean, obviously you need more stability, so really worked on geometry. The shoe is a little bit more, weights a little bit more, but you have some stability that will help you go through the 5 hours.
I can even see like a little bit of plate coming out.
Yeah, and
the
obviously,
back.
I mean, the speedboard is still important. The thing is, a carbon speedboard puts you in a very specific position to push off. So when you run 2 to 3 hours, that's fine, but when you run 4 hours and then on the hill, it's not
ideal.
good. So it's not a carbon plate, because carbon plate is too stiff. So we decided to go with a less radical shape, and with it's a glass fiber based speedboard that is a little bit more forgiving, and it is really going to help you to go the distance with ultimate comfort. And for me, if you want to run a marathon, it's more than, let's say, 3.5 hours. If you are here to get the ultimate experience, this is the shoe you want to run in.
I noticed we talked about it in the last shoe here with the Cloudsurfer Max, that you're kind of sitting down into the foam. This looks like it also has that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's also one trick, let's say, to bring in more stability, that you can sit inside the foam. So you can see like the upper almost dives into the foam. And
you can really
definitely
see it on this side.
That's really adding some natural stability to the shoe.
So you can see like that's a good 1/4 inch. I don't know millimeters for you, but
yeah, exactly.
In there.
No, so what you can see, we also added a little bit of foam. I mean, you want to run 5 hours, maybe more. You will spend a lot of time in the shoe, and it's important to have still the lightness, but also the right amount of comfort. And I think what people want is also the aesthetics of fast, and this is why it's a Cloudboom. There is no compromise on performance. There is no compromise on making that shoe look and feel good. Yeah.
Well, what about the runner that's gonna wear Cloudboom on race day, or Cloudboom Echo? Is this a shoe that you would use maybe as a trainer, or is this specifically for race day?
Athletes spotted that shoe and they were like, oh, that's actually what I want for training. So a lot of athletes are actually training that shoe and then racing in the Boom Strike. Or the Light Spray.
Yeah, we're seeing that happen in a lot of the shoes. This looks really promising. What would you say is the target person, the people that you were testing? Was it the range of 3:30 to 5 hours? What were you looking at?
The average time in a marathon is 4.5 hours. Men and women, I mean, it's actually pretty close. I think it's a range of 20 minutes.
4:26,
So yeah, I mean, I would say if you run 4 hours or more, I mean, this is the shoe you want to run in, and we promise the ultimate experience that you will not be disappointed with.
Have you been able to have anybody run a marathon in it yet?
Yes, we had. I mean, like early prototypes already. Like people really wanted to run in it.
All right.
And I mean, honestly, like really happy. Really happy testers.
That's kind of exciting. So this is something coming out. What? Actually, we didn't even talk about the stack. Did we talk about the stack?
We didn't talk about the stack. I mean, it's quite similar to the super shoes. It's 40 millimeters in the heel, 30 millimeters in the forefoot, so 10 millimeters drop.
All right, Ed. So what's the weight on this guy?
296 grams.
Okay, and when will we be able to get it?
On August 21st, 2025.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thanks for letting us see all the on product. This was great.
Of course, yeah.
All right, Ed.
Thanks.